What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anthony and this is Watch With Me. Today we're going to be going over 5 things that I hate about my Porsche 911. It's a 2010. Before we get into the video, of course, a customary wristwatch check. Today I am wearing my Rolex Submariner. It's actually one of my favorite watches to wear when I drive my car, because if you look at the transition between the first original Rolex Submariner to the modern day, it's a slow transformation, which is still sticking to its core DNA, just like the Porsche 911. But enough of that, guys. Let's get into the video. All right, so number 1, this has to be the most annoying thing. Now keep in mind, my car, yes, I know, it's not brand new. It's a 2010, but it's the Bluetooth. Now, I have Bluetooth capability for my phone, so I can take and receive phone calls, no problem, speak. People can hear me fine, it's absolutely clear, but there's no Bluetooth for the audio. Now, there is a phone jack inside of the car. Unfortunately, the only wire that could fit into it is meant for an iPhone 4 and earlier. Now, 2010, I think they were just phasing out the iPhone 4 for the newer jack, lightning port, or whatever it's called for the iPhone. So really, there is no way to play your iPhone unless you're using an auxiliary cord. And let's face it, kind of having a cord run through your car is a little annoying. So number 1 has to be the Bluetooth technology in my car. It is subpar at best. I would even go ahead and say that it's awful. Number 2 has to be the rear view camera. Now, I did just lease let's roll up the windows a little bit, it's a little loud. I did just lease a 2019 Hyundai Elantra. I believe it is standard on every car. They need to have a rear view camera. In the past, I had a 2010 Infiniti G37S, which came with a rear view camera. Now, this car, when it was brand new, was over $100,000, and it did not have a rear view camera. I don't even think it is an option. So, number 2 that I hate about my Porsche 911 is that there's no rear view camera. Number 3 has to be the way the car sits stock. So, in my opinion, it's slightly too high. I think the reason why most people put springs on this car is because the way it sits. Now, the 2 most popular options for my car is iBox springs, which tend to lower it just under 1 inch, coming in, I think, about 0.8 of an inch. And then the H&R springs, which is probably what I'm going to do, lowers it about 1.2 inches. Along with that, I think that the way the wheels sit in the car is way too inward. I had to end up putting wheel spacers on my car, which a lot of people do. I ended up doing 15 millimeters all around. Most people do 15 in the back and around 7s in the front. I decided to go a little bit more aggressive and go 15s all around. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, the way the Porsche comes in the US, it needs to have clearance if you were to put chains on your tires, being these cars absolutely suck with the performance tires that come on it, so you need to have clearance to put the chains on it. I don't know how true that is. It sounds about right. So that's what why I put the spacers, and that is the 3rd thing I hate about my 911. Number 4 has to be the tone of the car. Now, let's face it, I mean, this is not a supercar, but it's a sports car. It's a Porsche 911. This car has 385 horsepower. It's definitely not the fastest thing on the road, especially by today's standards, not even close, but it's just extremely quiet. Now, I am actually installing a SharkWorks X-Pipe this week, which is gonna wake it up a little bit in terms of its tone, but not nearly enough. I'm gonna have to also modify the mufflers. Pfister makes these modified mufflers that, along with the X-Pipe, makes a great tone. So again, if you add up those two with installation, you're talking $1,600 just to make it sound somewhat loud, somewhat aggressive. And again, for a car that's $100,000 and from a manufacturer like Porsche, I think they really could have made it sound a little bit louder, a little bit more aggressive. So that has to be the fourth thing that I hate about my Porsche 911. All right, and the last thing I hate about my Porsche 911 is also something I like, is just how over-engineered these cars are. Now, if you look at these cup holders, I love the fact that they're hidden, but they are absolutely useless. I will never use these cup holders for fear of driving and having it spill all over my car. It's just, I think they could have either designed them a bit better or just got rid of them. I don't really think there's a point for them the way they are. Maybe if it's a bottle of water or soda or something that you can close up the top, that might be suitable. But if you have a cup of coffee, I would not trust it. I think it's a little ridiculous how they made it. But yeah, number 5 would be the cup holders. And then kind of like, not one of the things I hate, but maybe one of the things that bother me, so just a little bit of an extra thing, is the car's just not that fast. It's 385 horsepower. I understand it's just the 911S, it's not the 911 Turbo, it's not a GT3, but I think that maybe it's just how chaotic the newer cars are on the market. You know, cars coming out being 400 horsepower is pretty standard for any sports car. I mean, Infiniti makes a 400 horsepower car. God, you can get a base Corvette, you know, they're pushing 500 horsepower. So I think that I wish this car was a little bit faster. I understand that, you know, it's really meant more so for handling rather than horsepower, but just a little pet peeve of mine. And that's really it, guys. Listen, do me a favor, leave a comment down below if you're enjoying the car content. I know the majority of my videos have to do with watches, but I really do like cars, and I really want to keep incorporating content on my car and cars in general. So knowing you guys enjoy it really helps me out and lets me keep creating content based on this. Also, if there's anything else you'd like to know about my car, leave a comment down below. Like always, like the video, let me know you enjoyed it, and until next time, take it easy, guys.